Hi, my name is Sam Isaac, and today I want to talk about starting your own t-shirt business. Different things to think about, challenges, all the things that a human mind could be thinking about before they get into business. How much money do I have? Can I quit my 9 to 5? Do I have the space? Do I have to get a store? Will the stuff I create, will it sell? How do I find my customer base? Do I have to make YouTube videos? The list goes on and on and on because what the human mind does, what you allow your mind to do, you run all over the place before you really thought about, yes, I'm going to do it. And so our mind normally presents problems before we do something. And that's not what we're going to do here. Let's say you decide you want to start. First thing we have to do, we have to come up with a name. After you have your name, that's great. Like mine, wasn't that hard to pick? It's the t-shirt game. This is not my first business in the t-shirt business. I was known as SD Media Solutions, and I did a lot of stuff. I just decided I wanted to change the name because I know the game. I've been doing it a long time. So anyway, let's get back. Stay on the course. No more rabbit trails, Sam. Well, there are some things that we're going to need to figure out. These are the important things, logistics. Are we going to do, we have a spare bedroom in the house? Or do we have like a kitchen or a living room that we can use temporarily, and then we dump all the equipment back into the closet? When it's in a house or an apartment and you don't have much space, you have to get very creative. There's nobody says you can't have it in those spaces. They're the best places. But you have to be more organized. You have to be thoughtful about what you're going to do. And of course, if you're married, your partner, your mate, is not going to agree with you having a mess all over the house. So everybody has an area where they can use in the house. So we've got that established. And there's equipment that you're going to have to buy. This, like, the basic equipment. We're going to need a heat press. That's actually what we use to press the designs on the t-shirt. So we have to invest into something like that. So that's one of the things that we're going to need. And definitely, before we can even get to the point of putting a design on a t-shirt, the obvious, which really, I've watched tons and tons of videos. Everybody leaves out the computer because we assume that you already have one. But if you don't, that's the least part of the worry. Because nowadays, everybody has a computer. All you really have to be able to do is have access. I'm not being funny. As an entrepreneur, you have to understand this. You're starting, you don't have all the tools. An entrepreneur does everything. And so you're going to have to make some things happen. If you don't have a computer, that's fine. We can go to the library. The library's open between 9 and 5 in your local cities every day, except for Sunday. So, and they have some late nights. But my whole point is you have access. You have internet cafes. Just depending on where you live, there's a lot of access to a computer. And nowadays, too, they have this really great new technology. It is called your cell phone. Believe it or not, they have a lot of apps where you can actually literally design a t-shirt. We were doing it years ago. We didn't have those luxuries. Today, it's so much easier. And you don't even need equipment on top of that. You have Teesprings, Printful, Scalable Press, Custom Ink. Oh, the list goes on. All these are print-on-demand companies, and they literally do the work for you. They do the hard part. They actually put the design on the t-shirt. They give you several different options of how you want to go, and then in a few days you have a t-shirt. If you don't have the money to start, that's a way. I don't know. I use Printful. I've used them all, and it's not my thing because not that I because I can create. You're leaving the biggest part. That is your biggest profit part that you're shipping out to somebody to fulfill your order for you. Some people are with it. I'm not with it. But you have to look at what your situation is. If you don't want to touch anything, all you want to do is get on the computer and do a design, and you're fine with making $2 and $3 a sale. That's great. And also, you have to tag your product a lot higher to get your $2 and $3. Because out of the gate, I want to say a decent shirt coming out of Printful is about $12, $13. Then you got to add shipping. That's another $4. So you're around $17, and you haven't made a dime. And if you want to brand your box, that's another couple of dollars. And let's say if you wanted to brand your garment with a neck label, that's another $3. So you're in that product for $20, $25. That's out of the gate. That's why I'm saying you're only making like $2. It's up to you. Some people have a terrific Facebook page where they can sell 1,000 shirts, and it's great. You're not doing any work on the t-shirt end, but you're doing the marketing. That's a great opportunity if you want to go in a direction like that. I'm not against it. That's an option. It's a great option. What's great about it is I'm going to give you the pros with that option. That option, you have no inventory, no mess in the house. You're not worried on UPS to send you the item. And when you get it, then you have to ship it out to your customer. So you knocked out a lot of legwork. You knocked out, if you were doing them in your house, you knocked off that trip to the post office. Or you knocked off, you have to get a stamps.com account or a ShipStation account. You knock that out. That's the advantage. But the disadvantage is your profit. And it all depends on what you want to do. There's no right or wrong in starting a business. The right thing to do is start. Be an entrepreneur. Get in the business, because this is one of the easiest businesses there are to the fact, because printing on a t-shirt, it's emotional. The saying, whatever it is, like, could you imagine you say, God got me? People can relate to that. Or, today's not my day. There's somebody out there that will buy that type of shirt because they can relate with the emotion. Or, you can have a dog on a shirt. You have dog lovers, cat lovers, you name it. And also, it is, I want to say, I think it's a $20 billion business. And so, if you're going to get into it, all you got to do is worry about getting a 0.5%, not a whole percent, even a 0.25%. 20 billion, it's a lot of money. That's your focus on that. So I would say that's why I push it, not because I'm into it, because there's plenty of other businesses out there. But I'm just talking about, this is one of the businesses where I've seen people come from all different genres. Lawyers, doctors, nurses, factory jobs. Just a lot of, and they've been successful. Because they run with their ideas. And you really don't have to be a graphic designer or artist. I'm going to break that down, for you. I'm going to stop that. I used to go to the ISS shows, very big shows for the t-shirt business. That's about your trade, shows you about all the materials that is going to be available this year, all the equipment, the new methods. You get to see everything. It's a great place. But I would always go and I'd see the salesman intimidate people that they had the money. They could write the check for $20,000 and buy all the equipment that salesman was selling. But they would intimidate them by saying, "Can you design?" And I would see some people get discouraged and walk away. And I'd be so upset because how can another person discourage you because you know you don't have the ability to draw? That doesn't mean you can't do t-shirts. You can do text t-shirts. You can put your idea down, you can sketch it, and you can hire a graphic designer to do it for you. I mean, and you can go to Walmart. Let me get back to the graphic designer. You got 99 Design Crowd. You have Fiverr. There's just so many places. And now you have people, some of their t-shirt businesses are slow. So they're putting ads out on Facebook. I will design. And on Fiverr, you have people that design specifically for print on demand. So, I mean, you got tons and tons and tons of options. Yes, you might be selling the same design as somebody else, but it doesn't matter because they're not in the same market that you're in. So it's not going to affect you because on the average person in America buys between 1 to 2 t-shirts a week and wears 1 to 2 a week. And so you figure that of all the people that are in the United States, that's a lot. That is a lot. But I just enjoy the business and I encourage people, I encourage you to do it. I'm going to tell you my journey, how I started. Well, I've always liked to do shirts, and I used to live in New York at the time, and there was a gentleman that his name was Clancy, and he had a few t-shirts, and he was selling them, and they were really cheap at the time. He was selling them for $10. This was way back in the early 90s, and I bought 4 of his t-shirts, and then the light bulb flashed because his t-shirts were really nice. I hadn't seen them. I mean, I used to go to New York City, so I'd be all in the fashion places, and I used to see a lot of t-shirts. But what this gentleman had, it blew my mind. So I called him back up after I bought the 5, and I was like studying the t-shirts. I was like, wow, that look real great. So I bought 20 more t-shirts from him, and I sold them. And so I called him back again, and I said, "Clancy, I really like this. I'd like to learn about it." And he was giving me a rough time. I had to buy more shirts, and I did because I was still moving them. But then finally he broke down and he showed me. And at that time, you didn't have the access to all the equipment that you had. We had only method that I knew at the time was silk screening. And even then, the best you could do on your computer at home was print on acetate, and then you bring that to your silkscreen printer, and then if he approved it, then he would go from there with it and burn a screen, and that's what you had got done. It would save you a little bit of money, not a whole lot, but you'd be able to crank out some shirts. And so that's how I got involved. I was on and off and on and off and on and off over the years. And then somewhere I was doing a lot of club flyers and stuff like that, so I dropped out of the t-shirt. I was t-shirt market. I was just doing graphic work. And somewhere around 2010, the light flashed again, and I went hard. I bought a heat press. I bought a used. No, I bought a brand new one of those cheap heat presses off of eBay for like $200. It was like an 8-in-1. And when I say it was cheap, that thing, I destroyed that heat press in less than 30 days. You know, the handle broke from constant pushing it up and down because I was printing a lot. I had an inkjet printer. That was not the recommendation at the time, but that's what I used. And the transfer sucked. But then I found a company that did silk screen heat transfers. And man, I hit a lick. I came up with a good number of what I wanted to sell my t-shirts for, and how, and like usually you'd have to do the minimum 10, 20, 30 shirts, and I'd give a special, and it just opened the door. And that's how I got my start in the business. It's a fun business. It's awesome. You get to meet cool customers, cool people, and you get to do fantastic t-shirt ideas. Because let me tell you, as being a designer and a t-shirt creator, you don't have all the ideas like customers have. I mean, they'll come to you and they say, I have this off the wall t-shirt idea, and then you're like, can that work? And then all of a sudden the light bulb goes off. Yeah, we can do it. You take the job, you get it done, you come back, and you have a satisfied customer. But these are the things that I wanted to tell you that you need to consider if you're thinking about going into business. It is a great decision to make. Don't let Aunt Susie scare you, Uncle David, Grandma, or your mother telling you, oh, you're not good enough to do it. Well, when I started out, I wasn't good enough. Made a lot of mistakes, but I learned as I went. Never let anyone talk you out of your future and out of your faith. If you have an idea and you want to do it, you must achieve it. Because you know what? The one thing is, you'll never forgive yourself if you didn't do it. It's okay if you get out there and fail. You know what your results were. But if you didn't go out there and you didn't achieve it, it's going to haunt you for the rest of your life. Because you're always going to say, I could have did this. I would have been here. You don't know. But it's because you don't know, it's why it would never leave you. At least, if you have an idea and this is something you want to do, you got to put your best foot forward. Do some research as you're getting in on the market you want to sell to. Because you could have the greatest ideas and the prettiest designs and it will not sell. You have to know your area that you want to market to, and you have to research the customers that you're selling to. And when I mean, I'm gonna clear that up. When I say research, let's say you want to make a gym shirt with weights on it says, I'm tough as hell. Okay, that's fine. It's a great design. But you put it on a regular, big, bulky t-shirt. It's not going to sell. The reason is people that work out, nice bods, they like performance shirts. They like shirts that hold them, cut a certain way, and it pulls a sweat. I mean, you have to study that. You go to the gym and you start looking around, you see what they wear, you put your designs on those shirts. Now, you have a chance of making a sale. You know, and you just have to learn what is going to sell, what t-shirt is comfortable for the niche and the people that are going to wear your product. So that's the research that you need to do first. But anyway, if you like this video, leave a comment. Please share and subscribe. Thank you. Have a good day. God bless.